Long ago, deep inside a quiet green forest, there lived a lion who had once been the pride of the land. In his younger days, his roar could shake the trees, and the ground trembled beneath his powerful steps. Every animal respected him, and many feared him. He was the undisputed king of the forest. But years passed, as they always do. The lion's golden mane turned dull and thin. His once sharp claws grew blunt, and his strong legs no longer carried him swiftly across the plains. Hunting, which once felt like a game, now felt like an impossible task. Each failed chase drained his strength, and his stomach remained empty for days at a time. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the trees, the old lion lay inside his cave, weak and hungry. The cool stone beneath him offered little comfort. "If this continues," he whispered to himself, "I will soon die of hunger. I must think of something. I must." He closed his tired eyes and thought for a long time. The forest outside buzzed with life, but inside the cave there was only silence and the slow sound of his breathing. Then, a sly idea crept into his mind. His eyes opened, and a faint, cunning smile appeared on his face. "I may be old," he said softly, "but I am not yet helpless." The next morning, he spread the news through the forest that he was terribly ill and near death. He lay still inside his cave, groaning and sighing, pretending to be weak and suffering. When the animals heard the news, many of them felt sympathy for their old king. Some remembered how he once protected the forest from invaders. Others simply felt pity for the lonely creature in his final days. One by one, they came to visit him. A deer stepped into the cave to ask about his health. He never came out. A rabbit followed, full of concern. He never returned either. Then a goat, then a wild boar, and many more. The cave swallowed them all, and the old lion, with his cruel trick, slowly filled his belly again. But lies rarely stay hidden for long. One morning, a fox heard the whispers about the lion's illness. The fox was known throughout the forest for his sharp eyes and thoughtful nature. Instead of rushing to the cave, he walked slowly, observing everything around him. When he reached the mouth of the cave, he stopped. The ground was soft and dusty, and it clearly showed the tracks of many animals. The fox lowered his head and studied them carefully. There were hoof prints, paw prints, and tiny footprints of small creatures. All of them led into the cave. None of them came back out. A chill ran down the fox's spine. He took a few careful steps backward, keeping a safe distance from the dark entrance. Then, in a polite voice, he called out, "Good morning, Your Majesty. How are you feeling today?" Inside the cave, the lion's ears twitched. He forced his voice to sound weak and tired. "Oh, dear friend," he groaned, "I am very sick. I can barely move. Please, come inside and keep me company. It would ease my pain." The fox looked again at the footprints and shook his head gently. "I would truly like to visit you, sir," he replied kindly, "but I see many footprints going into your cave, and not a single one coming out. I would be foolish to walk in." The lion's eyes widened in the darkness. He realized his trick had been discovered. But before he could say another word, the fox had already turned around and disappeared into the forest. Soon, the fox warned every animal he met. The deer, the rabbits, the goats, and even the birds spread the news far and wide. No one ever went near the lion's cave again. The old lion lay alone in the darkness, with no visitors, no food, and no one left to fool. And from that day on, the animals of the forest remembered the lesson the clever fox had taught them. Moral: stay alert, observe carefully, and think before you step into any situation.